Yes, madam. Audible.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm happy that, because I think I'm not audible through my laptop, so it's with the phone. No problem. So I'm just giving you some closed tests, okay? I want you all to read the whole paragraph, the passage, and then you do the fill in the blanks, and then we'll see the correct answers and we'll discuss which is correct, why is it correct, okay? Something very simpler to be going to a little more complex ones, okay? Okay, so this is it. I just want you all to read yourself for somebody, or should I read? How does it? You want me to read, or will you be able to read yourselves, students? Somebody answer, please. Okay.
Ma'am, shall I read, ma'am?
Vishnupriya?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, Vishnu, read it. Yeah.
Earth,
Priya.
our home, is the third planet from the sun. It's the
Mm.
only fill in the blank
Mm.
known to have an atmosphere containing free oxygen, oceans of water
Mm.
on its surface, and of course, life.
Very
The
good.
first one, the fifth largest planet of the solar system is the Earth. It is dash the four gas giants Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, but larger than the three other rocky planets Mercury, Mars, and Venus. Earth has a
Okay.
diameter of roughly 8,000 miles and is dash because gravity pulls matter into a ball, but it is not perfectly round. Earth is really an oblate shaped spheroid
Right.
because its spin causes it to be squashed at its poles and swollen at the equator.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and most of that is in the oceans. About a fifth of Earth's atmosphere consists of oxygen produced by dash. While scientists have been studying our planet from centuries, a lot has been learned in the past few decades by studying pictures of Earth from space.
Okay. So the first one, when we go, okay, Earth, our home, is the third planet from the sun. It is the only dash known to have an atmosphere containing free oxygen. So what are the options we have got here? Planet, moon, satellite, surface, life. So what will be the answer for the first one? It is the only dash known to have an atmosphere. So it is the only planet, moon,
Re-
satellite, surface, life.
Uh, Life, ma'am, maybe.
Planet from
Yes, it is the only planet known to have an atmosphere
Okay.
containing free oxygen, oceans, and all. Okay. The fifth largest planet of the solar system is the Earth. It is smaller dash the four gas giants, the names whatever, and but larger than the. Okay. So what is the option here? To, for, then, than, there, on. So
then
which
Then
then? What is the spelling that comes?
THAN.
THAN.
Because we have done that.
THAN.
Yeah, because it is adjective and comparative study. We are doing this. It is smaller than and it is larger. Okay, so it is again than, THAN, than. Okay, good. Now, what is the third one we had? Each has a diameter of roughly dash miles and is dash because gravity pulls matter into a ball, but it is not perfectly round. So the answer is already given here. So the answer is oval, round, square, uneven. What will be the answer?
Oval, ma'am.
Hmm?
Round,
Round,
round.
because yes, because each Earth has a diameter of roughly 8,000 miles and is round because gravity pulls matter into a ball. But it is not perfectly round. Again, they have given. Okay, so it is round. Understood? So I'm telling you, read the passage very carefully when you're writing it. So they have already mentioned it. It is not perfectly round in the second statement. So what are they telling? It matter pulls into a ball. So when it is a ball, how can it be oval or a square? It will be something. Actually, it should be a spherical shape. It's not. But again, they have written right oblate spheroid. So it should have been more. It would have made more sense if it was a spherical. But they have given round. So round is the best option of the three. Okay. Now what was the other one? Fourth one. About a fifth of Earth's atmosphere consists of oxygen produced by dash. Okay. What is the fourth one? Produced by animals, humans, living beings, plants, or none of the above? The oxygen is produced by students.
Once, can you go back, ma'am,
Plant.
to the question?
Yeah. The question is, while science, 75% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and most of that,
Okay.
about one fifth of the atmosphere consists of oxygen produced by
Plants.
Plants.
plants. Yes, oxygen is produced by plants, the producer, right? While scientists read the sentence now, while scientists have been studying our planet for centuries, a lot has been learned in the past decades by studying the picture. So I think we are done with everything, right? The first answer is planet, the second answer is Dan, the third answer is round, and the fourth answer was plants. Correct. Now I want you all to read this. According to a report in yesterday's newspaper, Dash police dog was taken to Raj Bhavan Dash Monday. This was to trace the dash of the very important horse, which Dash reported missing on Sunday. The dog picked Dash the scent on on some traces of Dash and ran a few yards before losing the Dash. The police have launched a vigorous dash into the whole affair. They have dashed the services of a forensic expert, dash, what is it? Sorry, fingerprint expert, and a photographer. Okay, dash are now 14 horses at Raj Bhavan. Dash are kept in a large shed near the gate. The first one. Okay, see the options. I don't know if somebody can just take down the first option. Once a new. Okay, for the number one. So we're going back again. Okay. According to a new report in yesterday's newspaper, Dash police dog was taken to Raj Bhavan. So once a or new.
A. A police dog.
Article, a police dog, right? According to a report in yesterday's newspaper, a police dog was taken to Raj Bhavan Monday. Okay. Dash Monday. Without seeing also
On
you can say.
Monday.
Yeah. At next on Monday. Very good. The next one is killers, dogs, police. Okay. Remember this. Okay. So what is there? This was to trace the dash of the very important horse. This was to trace the killers, police, or killers. Yes, obviously, you are not. The dog is not going to trace dogs. It is not going to trace police. It's going to trace the killers. Obvious killers of the very important horse, which Dash reported missing on Sunday. Which very important horse, which has word was
Was
was because it is a single one horse
Which
was
was.
reported. So we will say this was reported. If it was many horses, important horses, then it would have become word, right? So it was reported missing on Sunday. The dog picked dash the scent on some traces. Picked what? On, at, up,
Up.
up. Picked up some. The dog picked up the scent on some traces of dash and ran a few yards before losing dash. Okay, we'll see what it is. Number 6 of those blood report. What will it be?
Blood.
Yes, the dog picked up the scent on some traces of blood and ran a few yards before losing the dash. What is there here? Bet, track, game. What did it lose? Lose before it lost?
Bet.
Track.
Track, correct. It is not going to have a bet or a game, right? It is on a
Yeah.
investigation. It's trying to find the killer. So it lost track. Understood? Here you have to see that, okay? Now, the police launched a vigorous dash into the whole affair. What does what
Investigation.
they
Investigation.
have launched an investigation? Very good. And if you see that, see, a police launched a vigorous dash investigation in the whole affair. They have dashed the services of a forensic expert. Okay. They have what? Given up,
Requisite.
requisition.
Requisite.
Yes, they have asked for requisition. Means they've just asked for what is it? Okay, services of a forensic expert. Then what was it? Dash finger expert and
A
a photographer.
fingerprint.
A finger
A
expert.
A.
fingerprint.
Yeah, because it is P is a consonant. So a fingerprint expert, a photographer. Dash are now 14 horses at Raj Bhavan. There
There.
we
There.
so there,
There.
right, are now 14 horses at Raj Bhavan. Dash are kept in large shed near the gate. So
Which.
which,
ma'am?
right,
Which are kept.
yeah, which are kept. Understood? Why is it which and not who?
Place.
Who are for persons and
Yes, we've learned to remember. It's for, we normally said inanimate, but even for animals it will be which. So do we have a question answers for this? No, this is correct. Whatever you've said is correct. I think the answers yeah, I've just removed the bold one so that it is not obvious. You all don't know the answer. That's why. Okay. Okay. Now other one. In a strange dash, the production and the consumption of event become cause for concern. Dash wonders whether new forms of non-caring or violence are appearing. Somehow, silence even dash quietly suppresses a meditation on such events. Dash a professor, I can recollect the number of occasions when my students have cried as we discuss such events in class. Dash society seems so indifferent. Okay, it's a very thoughtful and a very deep paragraph. So, in the first one, in a strange dash, the production and the consumption of the event becomes cause for concern. Dash wonders. Okay, so in a strange way, form, step, method. In a strange way, form, step,
Form.
method. In a
Form.
strange form,
Ma'am, way.
yes. If you see, the best would be way. In a strange way, we never say form actually. In a strange way, the production and the consumption of the event become cause for concern. Dash wonders whether new forms of non-caring or violence are appearing. So the dash is what here? Anyone wonders, one wonders, someone wonders, somebody wonders. What would be the best option here? Dash wonders whether new forms of non-caring or violence are appearing.
Ma'am, one wonders.
Yes, one wonders whether newer forms of non-caring or violence are appearing, right? Yeah, one wonders. Anyone, someone, somebody will not make sense here. Sairam, is there any doubt? Okay. So somehow silence, even dash quietly, suppresses a meditation on such events. Okay. Now let us see what is the correct word here. Somehow silence even quietly suppresses meditation on such events. Attention, bias, regard, or indifference. Which is the correct word here? Somehow silence even, somehow, comma, silence one word, comma, even there should be one noun there.
By
That quietly suppresses a meditation on such events. So what
Can
is
you
it?
show the
Even,
options, ma'am?
yeah, even attention,
ma'am, by
regard, or indifference. Okay, the this one was
Attention.
somehow silence, even bias. What does bias means?
Differentiate,
ma'am,
basically.
Differentiating. Yeah, and what is the other one? What was the other option? Bias,
Attention.
attention, silence. In this case, it is not attention. Somehow silence, attention doesn't makes, okay, because they are telling that there are so many violences happening and nobody is caring. So somehow silence, okay, so attention is not the word here, it will not come, right? It is just the opposite of whatever the silence. So bias, no. Regard, no. So the only word what we can think the best fit is indifference. What does indifference means?
No differences.
When you don't care about it, something when you don't really give, you don't bother about, non-caring. They have already told here, see, in quotes, newer forms of non-caring or violence are appearing. So the that is what is indifference, when you really don't bother what's happening, okay, whatever is happening you don't bother. So somehow silence, even indifference, quietly suppresses a meditation on such events, okay. And the next one, what does it say? Dash a professor, like a professor, like a professor,
like a
as a
professor.
professor. As a professor, yes. Yeah, as a professor, what does he say? The next one. As yeah, thank you. As a professor, I can recollect the number of occasions when my students have cried as we discussed such events in class. So they were talking about all the violent things which happened, in their whatever classes they were having, and about the indifference which people have shown. So what is he saying? As a professor, I recollect the number of occasions. So when we were having discussions, I still remember or recollect when my students have cried. So even during, even just discussing, they have cried. Dash society seems so indifferent. What does it mean? So next one, what will it be? Yet, thus, hence, so. Dash
Hence.
society, hence society seems so indifference.
Yet,
You will hence be here. Hence means something like therefore. Therefore, thus, so.
Thus.
What will be the correct one, students? The correct one is
At.
yet. Yet. Yes, yet. So the correct one will be yet. What does yet mean? Even after so much, okay? Even, so
Ainapatiki, ma'am.
yes. Yeah, still, even. That's what they wanted to say, right? When so much is happening, so much of injustice or whatever violence caused and students are crying, he says, even then, yet society seems so indifferent. Okay. So you have to, as I said, you saw the meanings are also similar. Thus, hence, so, but they're not fitting here actually. Thus, no, thus will not fit. Thus means something like therefore, hence is also that. So society seems no. So here it means even after, still, that is what the yet means here. Yet society seems so indifferent. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Hope this is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So let's just go to the next one and see. Okay. This one is very nice. In the following passage, some of the words have been left out. Read the passage, okay? I want you all to do it by yourselves and give me the answers. I'm reading it and let me see. The first one I'll ask you to go. The argument is completely dash and shows very little understanding dash education. The cost quoted for private schools, 1, comma, means the cost quoted for private school. You have to understand. 1 means they're pointing the first reason. 1, have no reliable source of data, and dash, they discount two kinds of hidden costs. So what are the two kinds of hidden costs? One is to the family and dash the nation. Okay, right? Have you finished all the 5 here? Okay, 1, 2, 3. How many are there? 4. Huh? Okay. And then what is there? Anything else is there? Often the school of often the cost of education in private schools is dash with the fee per child. Okay, understood? The first one, this is a little complicated. You need to understand the whole thing. This argument is completely dash and shows very little understanding of education. The first statement. So the argument is what?
Inadequate.
Inadequate, amazing, spurious, or incredible. Incredible, no, because incredible means wow. Amazing, also no, because they're antonyms. Inadequate is when you do not have any much of a data. Okay, what they are telling is, inadequate is not sufficient, and spurious means something which is very
Like
false,
which is
invalid.
artificial, ma'am.
Yeah, which is something very invalid, fake, not correct. Okay. So in this case, you have to see the argument is completely inadequate and shows very little understanding dash education, or it will be the argument is completely spurious. Two things.
Yes.
Which is the best suited here?
Uh, Inadequate, ma'am,
You're telling
because
hmm, you do
because
not.
in the state and shows very little understanding that is not sufficient to access on something on education.
Yes. So here the argument is, yeah. So, but when you're talking it, the argument is completely, when you say, it will be spurious. Something like, it doesn't have any validity. So that will be the best word you can use here. Okay. Understood, Vishnupriya?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So the second one is, and shows very little understanding dash education. So what education? Understanding of, for, with,
Off or off, ma'am.
Off,
Of.
ma'am.
of. Correct. Okay. So you understand this argument is
Ma'am,
complete
if there is about, we can quote about, no, ma'am.
and show very little understanding about education. No, it will be of education only.
Ma'am, if there is, I'm asking if chance, if off and about comes, we can choose about or only off is
Very
the good one, ma'am.
little. Okay, well, it gives you very little. 1 minute. Let me just go about. The argument is completely spurious and shows very little understanding. Okay, it shows very little understanding of education, and when it says, and it gives very little understanding about education. You understand how the sentence is formed, Vishnu? Here they are telling it shows very little understanding of education. But when you want to say about, it will not be shows, and it has to be, and it gives you a very little understanding about education.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So
Yeah, ma'am.
the formation of the words, exactly, it shows very little understanding of education, and if it is that way, you can write about. Okay. Next, the cost
Okay.
quoted for private schools, 1, have no reliable source of data, and dash. Okay, so what will be the dash there? 1, have no reliable source of data, and dash, they discount two kinds of hidden cost. So twice, both, or
Fourth option.
secondly.
Two.
No,
Secondly,
one.
ma'am.
Two.
No, it, yes.
Secondly.
Why it will be not secondly and two? If it was written firstly, then it would have been secondly. You understand? But they
Okay,
have
ma'am.
said one. One have no
Twice.
reliable source of data. So then second, it'll not be twice. It'll be two. Because it is, if it is once, it'll be twice. If it is one, then it'll be, both will not come here because the sentence doesn't make sense. One have no reliable source of data and both they discount no. The first reason is one, they do not have any reliable data, and two, they discount two kinds of hidden costs. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. If it is firstly, they have no reliable source of data, then it will be secondly, they discount two kinds of hidden costs. Got it? So if you're
Yes.
using adverb, then again, the same thing you will be using. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say. You need to see how the sentence is framed. Now, so what was the last one? Yes. Sorry, I'm just going back again. So the cost hidden to the family, two kinds of hidden costs, to the family and dash the nation. To the family and dash the nation. It will be what? To the nation, of the nation, for the nation, about the nation.
Ma'am,
Which one would
can you
be
show the
First
before
one is
sentence, then
perfect.
after sentence, ma'am?
okay? So see, this is a simple one. The cost quoted for private schools, one, have no reliable data, and two, okay, they discount two kinds of feed. What does discount means? They do not actually, they don't take into account. Discount in this context, it means that they don't even take into account two kinds of costs. One is to the family, and the second one is
To the
for,
nation.
yes, correct, to the nation. Exactly, that's how. You have to understand the whole passage. I said you the first ones are very easy. This, as you're coming down, these are little complex ones. You understood how? To the family, to the nation. It will not be for the nation. It's to the nation. Okay, right. And often the cost of the education in private school is dash with the fee per child. So is equation, equates, equating, or equated? Which is the correct one? Often the
Equates. Equates.
Ma'am,
equate,
equated.
Equates.
equated, yes. So cost of the education in private school is equated, means it is what do you call it? Equates is present sense, correct? But then in this concept they're telling is each child the cost they are equating to the fee. So often the cost of education in private schools is equated with the fee per child. It's not equation, equates, or okay, it's equated. If you see, because if you see equates, it's not making any correct sense. More often the cost of education in private schools is equates. No, school, if it is, there is no is, then it will be equates. Often this cost of education in private school equates with the fee per child, but here it is. Often the cost of education in private schools is equated with fee per child. Okay, so if you see the whole paragraph, okay, you got my point here? The last sentence, students. Should we go to the next one? So do we do it one more time, the whole thing? It will be easier for you all. Okay, so this is so the argument is completely spurious and shows very little understanding of education. The cost quoted for private schools have one, have no reliable source of data, and two, there's discount two kinds of hidden costs, to the family and to the nation. So often the cost of education in private schools is equated with the fee per child. So the whole paragraph now makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's the in a whole you understood how things it is, right? Now let us go to the other one. This is a little okay. Fine. We also need to work towards a re-engineering of procedures. It dash that fear of being scrutinized by the office of the Central Vigilance Commissioner has dashed loan officers in the public sector into inaction. It is dash no use having a publicly owned banking dash that does not extend credit to sound projects on grounds of dash scrutiny. You have to read this passage 2-3 times, students. Okay, the first sentence is, where is the first sentence? Why is this here? What happened? Okay. Read it thoroughly 2-3 times and then tell me which is the correct one.
It has been suggested.
The last option would be
It has been suggested.
option D would be.
D is suggesting. It has been suggested.
Okay, ma'am. Again.
It has been suggested, ma'am.
It has been suggested. It word suggested that fear of, or it are being suggested. No, it's not correct. It is suggesting, wrong. Okay. So the best thing is the present. Yes. We also need to work towards the re-engineering of procedures. It has been suggested. So you're doing it the present perfect tense, right? It's been suggested that fear of being scrutinized by the office of the Central Vigilance Commissioner has dashed loan officers in the public sector into inaction. So what is it? Has dashed loan officers. What is it? Encouraged, emboldened, petrified, energized. What is it?
Energized.
Emboldened.
Encouraged. Ma'am, encouraged.
Okay.
Emboldened.
It has been suggested the fear of being scrutinized. What does scrutiny means? What does
To check.
scrutiny mean?
To check, ma'am.
To put somebody into what do you call it? Under wait. Something under observation. When you are into in under observation, somebody is observing it you very carefully. That's called scrutiny, right? So the fear of being scrutinized by the Central Vigilance Commissioner has dashed loan officers in public sector into inaction. Means they're not doing any action. So what is it? They has encouraged them for inaction. Inaction means they're not in action, right? So encouraged, no, it can't be encouraged, right?
Petrified.
Sympathy, encouraged. Emboldened is again the same word. Similar word for encourage is a synonym for emboldened. Okay, somewhere similar meaning will come. Energized means when you are like in too much of energy and you want to do the work. That also I don't think will fit here. What is petrified means? What does petrified mean? What do you mean by petrified? Petrified means when you're terrified.
Frightened, ma'am.
Frightened, when you're terrified to a very large extent, it's like you're in shock. You don't normally, when we say I was petrified, means I was in a shock and I couldn't move. I was petrified. That is the word petrified means. So what are they trying to say here? So it has been suggested that the fear of being scrutinized by the office of central government has petrified the loan officers in public sector into inaction. Does it make sense to you all? So they are so shocked that they are into inaction. So they are not into any work now. Okay. So, or they are energized to be in inaction? No, because energized, emboldenment, and what was the other one? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Huh. Energized,
Emboldened.
emboldened are just not sitting with inaction, right? Because when you are being scrutinized, you are like they are scared. They are scared because they've been observed. It has been suggested that the fear, see the fear, again here the word has come already, the fear of being observed or scrutinized by the Office of Central Vigilance Commission has what? Energized them? No. Has emboldened, has encouraged them? No. Has petrified them? Yes. They have been scared to death. They are so shocked, petrified the loan officers in public sector into inaction. So they're petrified. Okay, so they're scared. You understand? You have to make the whole sense of the paragraph. When you're reading it, you need to understand each word and you need to know where it is. It is dash no use having a publicly owned banking dash that does not extend credit to sound projects on grounds of dash scrutiny. Again, a very nice sentence. I'll read you what are the options for that. Okay. It is dash no use of having a public sector.
Ma'am, it is
Or
of no use.
it is, yes, which is the best preposition here. It is of no use having a publicly owned banking dash that does not extend credit. System, scheme, sorry, ideology. What do you call banking scheme, banking structure,
System.
banking ideology, or system? Yes, banking system. The whole banking, we call it the banking system. So it is of no use having a publicly owned banking system that does not extend credit. Means that does not extend, means that does not give credit, okay, based on sound projects on the ground of dash scrutiny. Pensive, retrospective, reflective, contemplative. Which is the correct word? Retrospective. Very good. Why is it retrospective? Can somebody tell me? And why is it not pensive, reflective, contemplative? What is retrospective and what are the other three? You're correct. Absolutely correct.
Ma'am,
Retrospective is the correct word.
pensive ante involving, ma'am.
Pensive is in deep thought when you're in some.
Yeah, ma'am, involvement.
Contemplating is also the same thing when you're thinking too much. Reflective is also when you're thinking about something that's happened, you're reflecting. Okay, same.
Yeah,
So
ma'am.
all pensive, reflective, contemplative are almost the synonyms. Retrospective, what does retrospective mean? When you're thinking about events that were in the past, right? Retrospective is the things when you're thinking of things in the past. So, what is the meaning here? What is the meaning here? It is of no use having a publicly owned banking system that does not extend credit to sound projects on grounds of retrospective scrutiny. Retrospective means just seeing the past events. So they have to extend the loans based on your last whatever happening, and it's because here pensive, contemplative, or other will not fit. Reflective, right? Reflective scrutiny, contemplative scrutiny, pensive scrutiny, no, it can't be the correct thing. So retrospective is the correct word. Retrospective means based on your past events. So the banking has, means what they're trying to say is, even we have to work towards re-engineering procedures. Means we have to work towards creating new procedures where we have been suggested that being scared or being being scared of being observed by the Central Vigilance Commissioner few of the loan officers are so petrified that they are in no action. So it is of no use having a publicly owned banking system that does not extend credit to sound projects based on the grounds of retrospective scrutiny. So if they scrutinize what has happened in the past, and based on that, they can give you the what do you call it? The our credits. Got understood the whole meaning of the whole paragraph?
Yeah, ma'am.
So when we are doing a whole paragraph, you when you're writing the words, read it and see that the whole, it is not sentence by sentence, it is the whole passage. The passage in the whole, you have to see what tense was the passage. Was it in past tense? Is it in present tense? Is it in continuous tense? What is the tense you are using? And then you have to see the whole passage. After putting the words, you have to read it again and again to see it does match or it doesn't match. Because there are times when one sentence will make sense and said, oh fine, but then it might not fit into the whole of your passage. Understood? These are a little difficult ones which I have taken. I thought not the easy ones, so that it's easy. So hope you all are understanding, students. I hope I'm making myself clear about this till now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now let us go to another one. So if you have seen in most of the things, they have given synonyms only, mostly. Encourage, embodied, and energized are almost similar. Petrified is only one that's not actually a synonym, and then it is the one which is matching. Again, in the other one also, if you see, um, here also pensive, reflective, contemplative are all similar words. Retrospective is what we have to think in this view. Okay, now coming to the other one. Okay. Okay. This you read it. This is plastic and other pieces of debris have dash found in the deepest part of the ocean, according to a new study. A single use.
Ma'am, shall I read, ma'am?
Yeah, Vishnu, read it. Vishnu Priya.
Yeah. A single-use plastic bag is among the 3,500 fragments dash at a depth of 11,000 meters. More than one-third of what was found was macroplastic, visible pieces of plastic larger than 5 mm. The research dash the deepest evidence of the ocean's pollution problem, as the deep sea is likely to be the final destination of floating plastic debris. The frequent dash and widespread distribution of plastic debris in the deep sea indicate that large number of plastic debris species are disturbed. Dash the
Tribute.
water column and in the high seas. Dash the researchers said.
Okay. So let us just see what they plastic and other pieces of debris have dash found in the deepest parts of ocean, according to a new study. So have dash found. Okay. So what is the word? Recently, sorry. Okay. Recently been,
Been, ma'am.
never. Which is the one?
Been, ma'am.
Oh,
Have
the
Have
other.
been found in the
have been
deepest parts of.
Have been found in the deepest parts of ocean, according to a new study. Okay. Now what I'll do is I just don't want you all to see the answers now. Ha 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 ha. How do I go about it now? The answers I've written it, it's there only. Okay. Now, a single use plastic bag among dash 3,000 fragments at the depth of this. Okay. So, was dash. What is the word? Extracted, sailing, discovered, surfaced. What is the word? A single use plastic bag among the 3,000 fragments dash at the depth of was
Ma'am,
among the
extracted
fragments
can't be, ma'am,
extracted
because.
at the depth, extracted,
Hello.
discovered. Yeah, tell me.
Extracted will not be, ma'am, because oil
Mm.
or some other particles will be extracted. Uh, 3,500 fragments of fragments
Hmm.
sailing is on the top, so it would not be. And next option, discovered. Discovered means that can be. And surfaced will not be, ma'am. Maybe discovered, I guess.
Yes, it is discovered. Oh, correct. Now we have to see a single bag was among the fragments. So it is a sentence. First of all, it is in the past tense. So anyway, sailing will not be because it is in the continuous sense, not happened. As you said, extracted is when you are digging something and you're taking it from the earth's surface. You call it extraction, like extraction of metals or ores and all. That's what we say, right? Something extraction when we're taking out from the earth's surface. That's the extraction. The other one, what was it? Other surfaced. Surfaced means which is on top, like oil surfaced on the sea. So which is floating or on the top is called surface. So a single piece of bag was cannot be surfaced at the depth because it is contradicting. It was at the depth, right? So it was discovered is the correct word. A single use plastic bag was among the 3,000 fragments discovered at a depth of 11,000 meters. Okay, it was discovered because it can't be extracted because they didn't dig it. When you dig something and pick it out, it is called extracted. Sailing doesn't fit. Surfaced means on top, so not fitting. So discovered is the correct word. More than one third of what was found was matter of plastic, visible pieces of plastic larger than 5 mm. The research dashed the deepest evidence of ocean pollution's problem. So, see the research dash, what is it? Occurrence, occurring, development, indicate, foresees, culminate, demonstrates. What's the correct word? Which was it? The sea, the research that's the deepest evidence of ocean's pollution problem. The research indicate it will not happen because it will be indicate. The research indicates the deepest. It can be because it is in this singular. So what do you call it? Subject verb agreement. Indicate will not fit. It has to be indicate. So it's ruled out. The second one is foresees. Okay, the research foresees the deepest evidence of the ocean's pollution problem. No, it doesn't foresee anything. Uh, culminates. Culminates. No, culminates means it doesn't culminate into anything. The research doesn't culminate. Then the fourth one is demonstrates. Does it
Demonstrate.
demonstrate anything? Does it tell us anything? Is it
Yeah, ma'am.
demonstrating something? Yes. So the research demonstrates the deepest evidence of. So we have got an evidence. So it is demonstrating the deepest evidence of ocean's pollution problem. So what is it? As the deep sea is likely to be the final destination of floating plastic debris, the frequent dash and widespread distribution of plastic debris. So the frequent dash, occurrence, occurring, development, happened. What is it? The frequent, what will the correct word be?
Occurring, ma'am.
Occurring,
Occurrence.
development happens.
Occurrence,
Yes,
ma'am.
that is a
Because
word.
occurring, it's a continuous tense, it can't be.
Huh.
And the
Happening,
other two, ma'am, one second.
happen will not happen. It will not. It's not correct.
Development, it will not happen.
No, the frequent development and widespread. No, it's not correct. So the frequent occurrence and occurrence means what is it?
Like Ravadam,
Which is
uh,
yeah, mostly there.
incident, ma'am, or in event, like that.
Yeah, yeah. So for
Occurring,
the
yeah.
occurrence and widespread distribution of plastic debris in the deep sea indicate. Why is it indicate and why is it not indicates here? Can somebody tell me? In this word,
Ma'am, it's already in plastic debris. Debris is the plural, ma'am. So two plurals cannot come in a sentence, ma'am.
debris is the singular, debris is a plural. Okay, debris. Okay, so here it is. See, I'll tell you the frequent. occurrence and widespread, both. Okay, they've used two this thing here. That is why indicate. If it is only the frequent occurrence of plastic debris in the deep sea indicates. It's only occurrence, but it is occurrence and widespread distribution, both. So when it is two nouns are there, then we have plural. That is a again subject verb agreement. So that is why it is in the deep sea indicate the large number of plastic debris pieces and distributed. What is it? Are distributed dash the water column and in high seas. So what is it? Whole, throughout, everywhere, during. Indicate the large number of debris pieces are distributed throughout the water column, or whole the water column, throughout the water column, everywhere the water column, or during the water column. Which is the correct word? Are distributed
Throughout. Overall.
Yes, throughout. It is not distributed everywhere. The water column is not correct. Whole the water column is not correct. During the water column is not correct. So it is distributed throughout the water column in the high seas, the researchers said. Understood? So plastic pieces have been found in the deepest parts of oceans, according to a new study. A single-use plastic bag among the 3,000 fragments what was it? Discovered at a depth of 11,000 meters. More than one third of what was found was macroplastic visible. The research, what is it? Demonstrates the deepest evidence of ocean's problem. As the deep sea is likely to be final destination of floating plastic debris, the frequent occurrence and widespread distribution of plastics, and the throughout. So understood? The when you put the words, the whole paragraph makes what do you call it? Understanding, right? So let us see what they have said. See. Explanation: the statement clearly is passive voice sentence made in the present perfect tense, and it's not likely plastic and other pieces of debris have found something in the ocean. Instead, plastic and other pieces of debris must have been found by someone. Therefore, the usage of either recently or never in place of the blank would still keep the sentence ungrammatical, and thus both the options A and D can be eliminated. So between be and being, the former is the better choice, keeping the grammar rules in mind. Being is the gerund form or the present participle and is incorrect here. That is why being, it is, they have given the whole explanation. So it is a passive voice. That is why it is been. Okay. Now, extract means to remove or to take out, specially by a force or usage of. Okay. So here it is not. Sail again in this context is not correct. Sailing, irrelevant. Okay, and then usage surfaced will absolutely be illogical, as plastic and other debris were found in the depth of the ocean, as we have discussed. So clearly discovered is the most suited word here for the blank. Understood? Do you want to read it yourselves to understand what exactly they're trying to say, students? I want somebody other than Vishnupriya to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in the context of the sentence, the best choices are indicate and demonstrates. Okay, as I said. But whereas subject research is a singular one, the latter seems to fit the blank more appropriately. Foresees means to predict something and is absurd here. Culminate means to reach a climax or a point of highest development and is absolutely illogical for the blank. So, as I said, indicate, it should be indicates. If it was indicates, then it would have been correct, but it isn't indicates, right? It is indicates, so it doesn't make sense. Again, as I said, the subject verb agreement. So demonstrates is the correct and the best choice. Option D is the correct. Plastic waste is now found not only in the coastal areas but also in the deep seas. Also, they can be found in increasing numbers and are being common. Thus, the correct word here would be occurrence. So, option A. The last one, the statement here tries to convey that plastic debris can be found in the entire sea and oceans. The only option that fits in grammatically is throughout. So hence option B is correct. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is a little, it is the most toughest one, and with this, we will close our session. Okay. And then we'll see tomorrow what we want to do. Other than Vishnupriya, can somebody read? Who is willing to read? Should I name? Kartikeya is there, and then Niharika,
Yes,
somebody,
ma'am.
Charan.
Shall I read, ma'am?
Yes, who is this?
Niharika, ma'am.
Niharika, read.
Three American spies were long known for having stolen US atomic secrets between 1940 and 1948, sharing that information with the Soviets. Their
Hmm.
actions fast-tracked the USSR's development of nuclear weapons and set the dash A and a dash for the Cold War.
This is
But
the
in
first fill in the blank. Okay. Set the dash for the Cold War. Okay. Next.
but in fact, there was a fourth spy code name Godsend who handed over atomic secrets to Soviet intelligence. This person's identity was dash from public view until now. His real name was Oscar Seborer, and he worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, home of the Manhattan Project, where the first nuclear weapons were designed. For decades, Seborer's name dash in relative dash mentioned in a few dozen pages amid tens of thousands of secret documents compiled by the FBI. But once these files were declassified
In 2011. Sorry.
in, in 2011, they came to the attention of two historians, John Earl Hines and Harvey Kleher. The researchers named Seborer as the fourth Los Alamos spy based on the 2011 declassified FBI documents, as well as dash records from a decades-long initiative called Operation Solo. The operation, which ran from 1952 to 1980, centered on two brothers in the US Communist Party who were FBI informants. To date, only the solo files up to 1956 have been released, and many open questions remain about Seborer's activities as a spy and what happened to him after he later dashed to the USSR, the researchers wrote.
Okay. Let us see the first one. Okay. Which of the following should fill the blank A to make a conceptually correct and meaningful sentence? Plate, stage, sand, water, violence. Okay, remember plate, stage, sand, water, violence. So, what are they saying? Three American spies were long known for having stolen US American secrets between this, sharing the information with the Soviets. So, American spies have given their information to the Soviets. So, this fast tracked the USSR development of nuclear weapons and set a plate, a stage, a violence for the Cold War. So, did it set a plate, stage, sand, water, violence for the Cold War? What was the Cold War? Cold War was, when two countries are enemy with each other, but they don't show on the faces, but then inwardly they have a lot of animosity.
Proxy war, ma'am.
So it is called what? They set a plate, a stage, a violence, sand, water. What did it set? It set a plate for the Cold War, stage for the Cold War, water for Cold War, violence for Cold War, or what? This should be the correct option.
Ma'am,
Stage,
stage.
Yes. It set a Stage. Here, stage means it set the proper, what do you call it? Means this is the reason for the Cold War. So it set the stage for the Cold War. But in fact, there was a fourth spy, codename Godsend, who handed over atomic secrets to Soviet intelligence. This person's identity was dashed from public view until now. Was, what is the options? 2. Hurdled, blindfolded, concealed, darkened, eclipsed. What would be the correct one? This person's identity was blindfolded,
Eclipse.
hurdled, concealed from public view until now, darkened, eclipsed. Which is the correct one? What do you think is the, which would be the
Ma'am, eclipse.
no? What does eclipse mean?
Darkened.
Conceal.
What does eclipsed? I mean, all are almost similar, but actually conceal means what? Let us just see. What does concealed means?
Covered.
దాచి ఉంచడం.
Hidden.
Covered.
The person's identity was hidden from public view until now. Okay, that is called concealed. Something like, eclipsed means, it isn't darkened, is not, it's not blindfolded, no, hurdled, no, eclipsed, no. So I think the best is hidden, that is concealed. So this is what will be the correct one. Let's see the answers after this, okay? His real name was Oscar This, and he worked for Los Angeles Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, home for the Manhattan Project, where the first nuclear weapons were designed. For decades, Dash's name, okay, Seberer's name, what is it? Sorry. Seberer's name dash in relative dash mentioned a few this thing. So what is C? Name. Where is C? Name. Declined, deteriorated, flourished, crumbled, languished. What is it? And obscurity, absence, limbo, anonymity, oblivion. So what is the thing one? His name, see, his name, Sabra's name, dash in relative, dash. Okay. So for decades, means for so many years, his name, dash in relative, dash. Mentioned in a few dozen pages amidst the thousands of documents. So what was it trying to say? So for so many years, his name declined, deteriorated, flourished, crumbled, languished. What is it? And then in relative, obscurity, absence, limbo, anonymity, or oblivion. Which is the correct one? Let us see. We'll give it, it's a little difficult one. We'll go to the answers and then we'll see how this is, okay? And then the thing, okay, and mention in few dozen pages, tons of this. But once these files were declassified in the year, they came to the attention of few historians. So once again, when they took out the files and they started working on this, they declassified. So what did the researchers do? The researchers named Sabra as fourth spy based on, so what are they trying to say here? In all those years, his name wasn't seen, okay? Till the what do you call it, the researchers declassified, his name wasn't seen in these things, okay? So it was concealed and it wasn't seen. So we'll see which is the correct word. So after it was the researchers as a fourth spy based on declassified documents as well as dash records from a decade-long initiative operation called Solo. So what was it? What was the last one? Doctored, falsified, partial, unfound, or absolute, which is the correct one here. And then the last one, we'll see. What does it say? And Okay. And the last thing what they say is, to date, only the solo files up to 1956 have been released, and many open questions remain about Cerberus' activities as a spy and what happened to him after later to the USSR, the researchers wrote. After he later, what did he become? 6. What are the answers? Betrayed, defected, delivered, convicted, arrested. So what did he do? After he later dashed to the USSR, which is the correct word here. The little betrayed to the USSR, defected to the USSR, delivered to the USSR, convicted to the USSR, or arrested to the USSR. Which will be the correct one? Are you able? Were you able to make this thing of this? What do you call it? The whole paragraph, students. Okay, let's go to the first one. What are they saying? Explanation. What are they saying here? Stage means a point, period, or step in a process of development. Stage has this meaning in given the blank, and it is perfectly appropriate here. We have already seen that. Okay, the second one, okay, where the words like plate, sand, water are like ups. So, are you able to hear me now? The second one is concealed. As we said, it was concealed means kept secret, hidden. It is for perfectly appropriate in the bank B because grammatically and conceptually it is correct. Okay, hurdled, darkened, eclipsed are all very inappropriate. Now the third one. Okay, declined, deteriorated, crumbled are the contextually inappropriate in the blank C. They don't impart correct meaning to the concerned sentence. Flourished is the complete opposite of what the sentence demands. Hence, it can also be eliminated. Languish fits in the blank appropriately as meaning languish of a person means lose or lack or vitality or grow or fail. Okay. Hence, option E is the correct one. What they are telling is here, what was the word we used for it? Which one was it? Huh. Declined, deteriorated, flourished, crumbled, languished. So, what was the term here we used? Sorry. Several dash in relative dash. So, for decades, Sebra's name languished. Means it just didn't, it went like nobody cared for him. That is what they wanted to mean here. Okay, languish. So means lose, lack vitality, or grow weak. That is the correct meaning. In relative, they said, right? Obscurity means the state of being unknown, inconspicuous, or unimportant. And it is perfectly appropriate here, both grammatically and contextually. Therefore, the other words in the other options do not fit in the blank aptly. Hence, they can be discarded. Limbo, an uncertain period of awaiting a decision or resolution. An intermediate state of condition. Oblivion, the state of being unaware or unconscious. Okay. Therefore, A is the correct option. Okay. So here what they are telling is it will be oblivious language and relative obscurity. That is what they are telling. So sorry, I'll come back again. We'll read the whole thing. You can make it. So for decades, Zebra's name languished in relative obscurity, mentioned in a few dozen pages and tens of thousands of secret documents compiled by the FBI. So it just didn't make sense. It grew weak, and it just went into obscurity. Read about. Only when they have again declassified, when they have declassified, what happens? So E as well as dash record. So what is the researchers name Cerberus as fourth spy based on the declassified documents as well as dash records. So what are the records here? First, what is it? Doctored records, falsified records, partial records, unfounded records, and correct and partial records. If I'm not wrong, let us see. Yes. They are not apt in E. They are can be so absolute C. Doctored, falsified, and unfounded records would not serve any research. Okay. Hence, they cannot be in the apt blank E. They can be eliminated. Absolute, it is incontextually inappropriate and does not fit in the blank. Therefore, only partial fits in the blank E. Therefore, the researchers referred to partial records. So, when they declassified, they found partial records where they, from decades long initiative called Operation Solo. So, they got some records. Partial means a few records, right? And the last one. So, Sebre was a citizen of US, but the spy of USSR. One betrays one's own country, but defects to another country. Hence, betrayed is not the correct word to the fill in the blank F. Defected is appropriate word here. The other words in the other options do not fit in the blank aptly. Hence, they can be discarded. Therefore, option B, that is defected, is the right word. Okay. This is a little tough one. Last is activities as a spy and what happened to him after he later defected to USSR, the researchers wrote. Okay. So I hope this was fine. I think for your what do you call it, examination, you'll get a little easier one, right? It will not be this tough. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what I was telling is, this fine? Were you able to understand how the whole paragraph was matching and how things were?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. So if you want to do it tomorrow, the same thing or anything else, or you want me to, maybe I can. I don't know if you all have those books which there are a lot of things online. If you want to go and look at it, I can just give you the sites also. Maybe I'll just see. Many of them are there. So like this. So I hope you have been practicing these things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I want you to do is when you're doing the passage in the examination, also remember one thing: you have to see the passage as a whole, where the words are fitting and how things are. Okay, not a sentence by sentence. After you put the words, also read the whole passage and see if the whole passage makes sense. Okay, because the passage has been given in the whole. It's like the whole thing. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yeah, ma'am.
yeah. So tomorrow should we do this again, or do we do anything else, like something else which we have not tried?
Ma'am, for the first half an hour, we'll do this, ma'am. and the rest will continue with the new topic, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you tell on direct indirect speeches?
Yeah, that would be better, ma'am. Yeah.
Oh, direct and indirect, the rules of direct, indirect, and active and passive voice. So we'll do that tomorrow. And this a few more. Let me see if I can get the few more close passages. We will do that tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So tomorrow, I think this the same timing. I think you have another class also. So we have changed the timing. This timing is the same 6:30. We'll meet up tomorrow at 6:30. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
You want this PDF to be sent? What we have done now?
Yeah, ma'am. It would be like practice. It would
Yes,
be, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can you
I
share it
just
with
said.
me?
Okay. So have you gone through all the one word synonyms and antonyms? No, sorry, the one word for many words and all.
Yes.
Practicing, ma'am. We are practicing.
Yes, Karan.
Sorry, ma'am. Didn't get you. Can you repeat the statement again?
I've sent the PDF, right? The one word for many words. There are
Ah,
lots.
yeah, ma'am. Yeah, yeah.
Have gone through that. Yeah. So do you want
Yeah, ma'am.
synonyms and antonyms? I've not sent you, right?
No, ma'am.
Synonyms are not.
Okay. Let me see. I'll just check a few more synonyms and antonyms. Please have seen. So we'll just do that. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow at the
Okay.
same time we'll meet up. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Thank
now.
you.
Bye, ma'am.